Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our show, The Source. My name is Kurt P. White, and I'm here with Dr. Marianne Hoyle. And our guest today, Tyler Smith, is joining us. We're so happy to be here. Thanksgiving week. I know it's a busy time, so I'm glad we were able to have the opportunity to come together, do our show, The Source, which this is now Mary and I's second show that we've done.
Yes.
I'm honored to be a part of. And basically what we are is every fourth Tuesday of the month, Marianne and I and our co-host Brian, again, was not able to make it today, but we want to come together and share the pieces of the puzzle for success that we feel kind of fit in with the source. Being tools and resources primarily. We kind of encompass a lot of things, but those are the primary ones that we want to share with our viewers and our listeners because, again, I've decided it's all about success, putting the pieces of the puzzle together. There's all kinds of them, and we know that we can't do it ourselves. So that's why we come together, and we want to take an opportunity on this show, The Source, to share what we know in our community, what's going on. It'll give you an opportunity, too, to go back and look at it, maybe as a resource if you're working on something later down the road. So anyway, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to quickly go over to Tyler because I know he's got a lot to talk about. If you all recall, hopefully some of you listened in to the radio show a couple weeks ago. Tyler is currently a Bradley student. Shared with us that you're not counting down days or anything, but he's getting
not at all, just
getting
a few
close.
weeks.
But you are a senior at Bradley, and he and three of his fellow students had a project this semester that they put together. A couple weeks ago on the radio show, Kim talked with two of your fellow students, I believe Hannah and Danny joined her on the radio, and that was before last week where they talked about what was upcoming. The project that you guys came up with was Little Change, Big Impact Week.
Yep.
And you incorporated a couple of some wonderful resources here in our community, which was Wildlife Prairie Park and One World Cafe. You partnered with them. And you put this like social media event together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to promo with that and let you take the reins and tell us a little bit of how you came up with it. And then we'll talk a little bit about, I can't wait to hear how it ended.
Yeah. So Little Change, Big Impact Week, it all started our first semester of, it started the first day. We were assigned in our PR Capstone class into groups. And then we had to choose a nonprofit, a for-profit, and a cause, and partner it all up.
I'm going to interrupt. You've mentioned PR Capstone to me a couple times. What's PR Capstone?
So it's almost like the grand finale for PR students. It's utilizing all the classes and lessons you've learned in any PR class, if you're a major, and putting it all together. We learn through case studies and different papers about successful PR campaigns and failed PR campaigns, and now it's our chance to put one together ourselves.
Got it. So your final project.
It's our final.
The big kahuna.
Yeah. So during the class, we get to learn again more case studies, but a big chunk of it is just ourselves doing research about our nonprofit and for-profit and our cause. And making content calendars for social media and basically getting the campaign ready to go, and then implementing that campaign, and then at the end evaluating that campaign to see if it was successful or if it was a dud.
Sure.
So hopefully it wasn't.
Obviously, like I said, I'm excited to hear how it all turned out, but through that process, one of the things here and part of our show And as Marianne definitely knows, as a business member of I've Decided, every week we incorporate our weekly winning word,
Yes.
which this
Yes.
week is generous.
Yeah.
And in our planner, our success journal, we have definitions of each word. And for generous, we've got showing a readiness to give more of something as money or time than is strictly necessary or expected.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're talking about. This Thanksgiving week is generous, and I want to kind of throw it back to you then. The people, the research, the people that you got to partner with you, how was it? And explain to me the generosity that had to be involved to make this all happen.
Yeah, we really couldn't do this without the generosity of Bradley, our professors, and the community as a whole. When we did this, we had to do a focus group. And so one of our team members is reaching out to secretaries of Bradley and asking them to forward this to students. And students, if I got an email for a focus group, I'm like, leave me alone. Let me
Yeah,
let
is
me
there
eat.
food or money
Yes.
involved? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we had several students go to the focus group and participate, which is so generous of their time because everybody is going from one thing to the other. All of our professors, especially our professor leading the class, Dr. Pavelko, was always there to provide any resources or any help and guidance throughout, which was very helpful. And then especially our nonprofit and for-profit. Wildlife Prairie Park, as you've seen, has gone through a lot of changes recently, and they have definitely
Beautiful.
been there.
Yes,
It is.
yeah.
It's a beautiful place, and they've had some of our group members out there to check it out, and they've definitely been really an asset to our campaign, and especially One World at the final day of our event. One World opened the doors and we were allowed to go in there, and they posted flyers. Both of them shared our posts on their social media pages. They could have been sharing something else, but they shared some thing that Bradley students made. So yeah,
Awesome. I was disappointed. I wanted to get down there and try the
yeah.
Impossible Burger.
the Impossible Burger.
But
Yeah,
Did you eat one?
I did not. No,
Okay, well,
That was the
We'll go
one
together.
Of the
Yeah, we'll have to
I
go.
to make a point of that too.
Yes.
But yeah, that was the way I understood it then was the final day of last week, which I followed along a little bit because I knew there were some prizes and all that
Yes,
stuff
yep.
involved, which was brilliant the way you put that together. But explain a little bit. I don't know if you have your notes or remember, each day was something different.
Yeah, so each day we wanted to really show how one person can make something little, something easy they can do that can help change the environment. Whether it's, going and getting clothes at a Goodwill or carpooling with a friend or using reusable bags when you go grocery shopping. They're all really easy things that you can do. It doesn't take a big effort. It's just once you do it and implementing that little change in your life, if everybody pitches in, it could really make a big change.
Right.
And so one of our group members reached out to several businesses where we could give out prizes each day, and it really worked out well. She went out and bought reusable straws and reusable bags that we could give out. I reached out to Amy Blaine from Explore Peoria, and she donated passes to Wildlife Prairie Park, and
that's
also
nice.
wrote an
Yeah.
article.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, no, we had a lot of help from people who just donating. They maybe they thought it was something little, but to us it was huge that we
Sure.
could give away. And all the media coverage like today, and we had a few group members go on WMBD, and Explore Peoria wrote an article, and through Bradley we had a few different media outlets. It's been really fun. Really, it's overwhelming because we're bouncing from one thing to the next. But everybody from the community is really, it's maybe, like I said again, something little for them, but huge for us to really show the generosity of the community welcoming us to talk about our project.
Well, and I know.
And yeah.
Go ahead.
And I was gonna say, and I think that the community has heart in your project.
Yeah, yeah.
So, the generosity of that, giving of your heart or whatever, I think, that because I see a lot more people, younger people, old people, definitely wanting to help our environment and stuff.
That's awesome. And we kind of
Yeah.
talked about that a little bit. There's a couple things. You mentioned the
Yeah.
word appreciate, which I know was the weekly winning word for your
Yeah.
fellow students
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
radio show. And they certainly, we appreciated the fact that you even came to us with this project and this opportunity. And then I also learned that a couple of our business members were the recipients of some of your prizes. So I'm sure they appreciated that too.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it worked out really well. Everybody who won prizes were just thrilled, and we were happy to give them out. And we were glad to have prizes to give out to kind of implement people to continue to do it.
Right.
So,
And I said sometimes to some, whatever they're giving might be small to them, but the recipient, it
Yeah.
could change their lives.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's a big part about generosity and what that word means, and kind of what you were alluding to, I think, Marianne, is being generous, so oftentimes is correlated with money or finances, but it's so much more than that. It's just the fact that you're willing to give more than you are to receive. And what you find is it's a heart condition too. We talked about in our weekly winning our weekly winning resource this week that generosity is actually a heart condition. It's something that you actually feel in your heart. And the biblical verse that we included in our journal this week says, "A generous portion will be blessed, for he shares his food with the poor." And that came from Proverbs 22:9. Something that struck me when I read that, and some other ideas that came to mind, was being a generous person or having that generous heart is the only thing in the Bible that God actually challenges us to do. Everything else he states, don't test me because you're not going to outdo me. But he tests us. He wants to challenge us to be as generous as we possibly can. And I think what we're finding through all of these projects that we're doing, but today as we're talking with Tyler and his little change, big impact week, he found through the generosity of so many people coming together that something that started out at the beginning of the semester as just an idea blew into something that just, I think, kind of snowballed for you guys, didn't it?
You created
Yeah.
a change.
So fill us in a little bit. Do you have, I know it's only Tuesday, but is your grade in yet? Or what kind of participation did you have? Or how did that work out?
Yeah.
Because most of it was social media driven, or was all of it social media?
Yeah, almost the entire week was on social media, besides Friday. But our grade's not in yet.
Okay.
So we're
They deserve an A.
Yeah, this is our plea. But
Give Tyler an A.
Yes, we kind of have Thanksgiving to let it linger a little bit.
Gotcha.
But we have a final presentation, and then we turn in a binder that's probably about this big, with all our papers and our research and our audience and objectives and everything in there, and then our appendix with everything, with any communication at all with the event.
What kind of response have you gotten with the likes and the engagement?
Yeah,
Have
so-
you gotten any feedback from that yet?
When we first started, we wanted Bradley students. We wanted, because you know what, they take it on and show their kids. And really, once our group hit with Kim Martin on the whole I've Decided Nation really kind of took it. They took it and ran with it, and we were like, this is great. So we had a lot of members from I've Decided participate and share and show pictures. Because when we first started, we really weren't sure what the response would be, but we had several people we saw a lot of people continue to come back each day and participate. I don't know if they liked doing it or they really wanted a prize. Either way, we'll take it.
A little of both.
Yeah. So we really saw a lot of adults participate. We really were trying for some Bradley students. We got some student engagement, but we were really happy with how many adults were participating, showing pictures. People were making collages of the things they were doing. We had people reach out to us from Texas. They wanted to share it with their church.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, okay. So it really was,
Awesome.
a lot of people were reaching out and wanting to do it. And so we're trying at the end of this campaign, putting together a binder we can hand to somebody saying, here you go, here's the materials. go ahead and do it.
Right.
So yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, just from what I've heard and what's been shared and the process that I kind of followed along through Facebook and Instagram, you know, it sounds like the whole thing has been a success. And, you know, you and Hannah and Danny and Katie really need to be proud of yourselves. You touched on a lot of things that are close to people's heart. And when you're in a community like ours, that you know, you brought up conservation, and when you brought in Wildlife Prairie Park, and then you got One World Cafe, which is a locally owned business, and
Yeah.
we're support. You know, we all have to come together, lift each other up, and empower one another. And you can only do that with a generous heart, with patience, appreciation, and quite honestly, talent. I go back to, the being generous and the giving of our time, talents, and treasures. And again, so often we talk about generous only when it refers to treasure. Well, there's those others two in there, the time and the talent.
Yeah, that are important.
And those are the things that I'm excited, because here we have a witness to, the kids. That's what they're being taught. That's what they're being encouraged to do on their own. They came up with a project like this, which is, fantastic.
What I'm excited about is your group's generosity and moving it forward in the future.
Yeah.
That
It's going to
is-
be.
Yeah, it's not like
really-
it's just
it's
gonna
not
die.
dying,
Yeah. I think that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Well, and the way I understood it, I mean, that's part of, I know you mentioned Professor's name earlier, but that was at least a part of the project, wasn't it?
Was that the goal?
hope-
One of the goals
Yeah,
was
one
to
of
keep
the
it moving.
one of the main goals was to see it be replicated in the future. It's not just a one-time thing. It's
Yeah.
something that we can pass off to somebody. And Kim Martin actually is all for it and ready to take it on in future years and share it. And it's great because her members of I've Decided already were like became our primary audience for this.
That's
So they're already.
Yeah.
They'll already be ready. Yeah.
And I'm happy to share that with
Yeah.
you today for sure, to confirm that
Yeah.
I've Decided is going to take over the Little Change Big Impact Week. I believe the mayor's even become involved a little bit as far as declaring a certain week for
Oh,
for
wow.
future
Yeah.
years. You scared me a little bit when you showed me with your hands how big this binder is going to be that you're handing over. But
yeah.
hopefully part of your project can be to kind of narrow that down or
Yes.
focus it a little bit.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I'm just teasing you.
Oh, no, but it's
A ton of work has been put into
Yeah.
this project, and we so much appreciate all that the students have done of putting this together, and we look forward to being handed over the reins and making the most of it for years down the future. I mean, just you and Mary Rose, if you stay in the area, and we've got, you don't even need to be in the area. You can share that with your
It's-
kids. Say,
yeah.
Dad helped start
yes,
that.
there we go. Yeah, no, it'll be exciting where it goes, and we really couldn't do it without I've Decided or One World or Wildlife Prairie Park or Peoria. Yeah, like you said, the mayor's gonna give us a proclamation in the next week and basically endorsing Little Change Big Impact Week.
Isn't that awesome?
So yeah,
Well, kudos to you, and congratulations on a job well done.
Yep.
We
Congratulations.
so much appreciate you being a part of the show today, The
Yeah.
Source. I can't imagine there's going to be reasons in the future where we'll have Tyler back again someday talking about something.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine that's not going to be the case. But
Yeah.
we definitely appreciate everything that Tyler and his team's done. I'm glad that Little Change Big Impact Week was so successful. The members of I've Decided, like we said, the community, that's what I've Decided is. We are a group of community difference makers that have come together. Our mission for everybody is, no matter what your goals or dreams are, we want to help you achieve them. We've got
Yes.
all the pieces of the puzzle that we can put together for you. We got motivation, inspiration, accountability, support, education, information, tools, resources, a proper mindset, and finally that last piece of the puzzle, which is contribute, which a lot of times we mean just show up. If we can all just show up for one another, lift each other up. Thank you
Yep.
so much to all of our business members and community members of I've Decided. On behalf of the whole group and for Marianne and myself, thank you so much. All of you that are
Yep.
watching, have a happy Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you next month.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
PeoriaLife.com.